All right, let's talk about one of the most iconic holiday desserts out there, the bûche de Noël, or Yule. You know the one. It looks like it belongs in a fancy French bakery window. But what if I told you that you can totally make this at home? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down every single step, from that delicate sponge cake all the way to the final snowy dusting.
So the real question is, are you ready to bake a holiday masterpiece? Because this isn't just about following a recipe. Oh no, this is about creating a showstopper. It's part science, part art, and we're going to dive headfirst into both.
Okay, let's be real. This cake can look super intimidating, but here's the secret. It's all about the technique. Our whole goal here is to demystify it, to break it down into simple, manageable steps that are, believe it or not, actually a lot of fun.
So, how are we going to tackle this thing? Simple. We're going to build it in 3 perfect parts. We'll master each one on its own before putting it all together. We've got the sponge, the filling, and the frosting. That's it. See? Not so scary when you break it down like that.
All right, first up, mastering that airy sponge. This is the foundation of the whole thing. And listen, this isn't your average chocolate cake. It has to be incredibly light, but also super flexible. Getting this part right, well, it's everything. It's the key to a log that doesn't crack.
Okay, let's look at what we're working with. Pretty standard stuff, right? But the real hero here? These 6 eggs, separated. Now, you might be wondering, why go to all that trouble? Well, it's because the yolks and whites do completely different jobs. The yolks bring the richness, the fat, but the whites, that's pure protein. We're going to whip them into a meringue and create literally thousands of tiny air pockets. That's the secret to getting that light, bendy structure we need.
This right here, the meringue method, is how we get that almost cloud-like texture. Think about it. We're basically making 2 different foams. One is a super stable meringue from the whites, and the other is a rich, thick foam from the yolks. And then comes the trickiest part, gently folding them together. You have to be so careful not to squish out all that air we just worked so hard to whip in. Now let's talk peaks. This is so important. When you start whipping, you get soft peaks. See how the tip just kind of flops over? That's a good start, but it's not what we need. For this cake, you have to keep going until you get stiff, glossy peaks, the kind that stands straight up. What does that mean? It means the proteins in the egg whites have formed this amazing, strong net that's tough enough to hold up all the other ingredients while it bakes.
Okay, deep breath. The cake is out of the oven. It's hot, it's steaming, and you have just landed at what is, I am not kidding, the single most important step in this entire recipe. What you do right now, in the next minute, will make or break your cake. Literally.
And here it is, the secret. You have to roll the cake while it's hot, no waiting around. You flip it onto a towel, peel off that parchment paper, and right away, roll it up. What you're doing is teaching the cake its shape while it's still warm and pliable. It's like creating muscle memory for the cake, so when you unroll it later to add the filling, it remembers how to be a spiral and doesn't crack on you.
So while our cake is cooling down and memorizing its new shape, let's talk about what's going inside. The filling. We're doing a mascarpone cream, which is just perfect. It's got this little bit of tang that cuts through all that rich chocolate. It's the perfect balance.
Again, look how simple these ingredients are. But they're chosen for a reason. The heavy cream gives it that light, whipped texture. But the mascarpone, that's our secret weapon. It's so thick and has such a high fat content that it makes the filling super stable. That means it won't squish out the sides when you roll it up and slice it. Genius, right?
And the technique here is key too. You're going to whip the cream until you get soft peaks, and then you gently fold in that mascarpone. You really don't want to go crazy with the mixer here, because mascarpone can get a little fussy and separate if you overdo it. Just fold until it's smooth and can hold its shape. That's all it takes.
All right, we're on to our final component, the glorious, the incredible chocolate ganache. This is the magic that turns a simple cake roll into that rustic, beautiful log. It's going to be our glue, our frosting, our decoration. It does it all. Seriously, could this be any simpler? Chocolate and cream. That's pretty much it. Ganache is just what's called an emulsion. Basically a happy marriage between the fat in the chocolate and the water in the cream. When they come together, you get this silky, perfect frosting. And that little bit of optional butter, that's just for some extra shine. A little bling for our log.
Now, the #1 rule of making ganache is patience. You pour that hot cream over the chocolate, and then you walk away. For 5 whole minutes. Don't touch it. This gives the heat time to melt the chocolate all the way through. If you jump in and start stirring too soon, you'll get a grainy mess. But if you wait, you'll be rewarded with the smoothest, silkiest ganache ever. Then you just let it cool until it's nice and thick.
Okay, this is it. The grand finale. The moment we've been waiting for. Our sponge is cool and ready. Our filling is perfect. Our ganache is at that perfect spreadable stage. It is time to assemble this thing and bring our bûche de Noël to life.
So you're gonna carefully unroll that cake, and look at that, no cracks. See? The hot roll trick worked. Now just spread on that amazing filling, leave a little border, and roll it back up, nice and tight this time. Pop it in the fridge for about 30 minutes just to firm everything up before we get to the fun part. This is where the artistry comes in, but trust me, it's easier than it looks. You just slice off a piece from the end on a diagonal, and then you use a little ganache to stick it to the side like a branch. So clever! Then you just slather the whole thing with that delicious ganache and drag a fork through it to create that awesome rustic tree bark look. It's that simple.
And now for the final flourishes. This is where you can really have fun and make it your own. A little dusting of powdered sugar looks just like freshly fallen snow. You could make some little meringue mushrooms, add some sugared cranberries for a pop of color, or tuck in a few rosemary sprigs. Go wild!
And there you have it. We took this dessert that seems so complicated and broke it down, piece by piece. And what you're left with isn't just a cake. It's a centerpiece. It's a conversation starter. Heck, it might just be the start of a whole new holiday tradition. So, the only question left is, what kind of tradition will you create?